Shane, Shane, Shane. Shane, 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 Shane. A-L-A-N, Allen. A-L-A-N, Allen. Allen, 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 Allen.
Question, and I'm truly just asking to understand. All right, I'm not trolling. I'm not being sarcastic or none of that. Can someone please explain the reasoning behind waving another country's flag, but not wanting to be sent back there by Trump? I'm really just asking because I'm not understanding that entire concept. And again, I'm not trolling. Like, I literally wanted to make this video specifically for this question and hoping that it's like a safe place for people to truly explain the reasoning and concept behind doing that. And I know I'm not the only person that's genuinely confused on this flag situation, because it's like, if America is doing you so dirty and you feel like your rights are being taken away and you're being treated like animals, then it's like, okay, well, just leave America and go back to the country that you're waving the flag. Like, go back to that country. Then they would say no, because they escaped from that country because of how bad it was, hoping to get the better life in America. And I'm like, okay, well, again, if America is treating you so bad, then why don't you just leave America and go try another country? Go somewhere else. They have immigration laws, so you still have to abide by those, but like, just leave. I don't really understand the whole, we're not leaving, but at the same time, I'm gonna wave my country's flag in front of the U.S. military. Like, y'all ever watch college football? You ever seen when the opposing team waves a flag and stamps it in the middle of the field on the opponent's territory? Like, you understand how that causes friction? So like, waving the whatever country's flag in front of the U.S. military, like, I don't understand it. So hopefully I can get some answers.
I don't have any answers for you, but I thought that was pretty funny. There was another one I wanted to play, but that one was up, so whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just like college football, you know. If Alabama and Florida are playing each other, and Florida puts their flag up in the middle of Alabama's field, I don't think a lot of Alabama people are gonna like that. They're probably gonna want to hurt some folks, you know. So, what do you think about that?
I've never had anyone explain something to me before, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. I tried my best. Yeah, I tried.
Yep.
So,
I don't know. What country is that guy from? Like Liberia?
Sounded American
maybe?
to me, but who knows? Yeah, maybe. It could be about Liberia.
Yeah. How you doing, Shane? You doing all right?
I'm doing okay. I'm wearing
Bro, you
I don't know
came
if
here.
you know this, but I'm wearing blue, you know, in celebration of our great and powerful ally Israel. So let's go Israel. I'm on Israeli side. So yeah, go.
I was doom
Israel.
posting earlier, and one of my friends actually messaged me and said, "If it makes you feel any better, Tel Aviv's getting pummeled by missiles right now." I was like, "Damn, that does make me feel better." Actually, thank you.
How dare you? That's our great and powerful ally. Come on now.
Yeah. Press I in chat if you want to sneak a dirty nuke into Tel Aviv. Here, I'll get it started.
Okay, so I teased this to you because I just wanted to know, and I'm sure you have a good answer for this because you're more in tune to this type of stuff than I am. But I've seen people on Twitter who will say, well, Iran is not allowed to have a nuclear weapon. That's just not that you're not allowed to have one. Right. But Israel, our great and powerful ally, do they have nuclear weapons? Okay, so why is it okay for Israel to have one, but not Iran?
Well, I mean, where do you even begin answering that question? So first
Iran
of all,
so far, yeah.
First of all, Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons, nor were they building nuclear weapons, nor did
But I
they have a
saw a
nuclear
map
weapons
that
program.
showed tunnels or something or whatever it was. I saw some map indicating someone was there's some tunnels or something.
I mean, I've seen yeah, there's some tunnels in New York City too.
Who came out of those? I don't know.
Yeah. So first of all, Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapons program, and that's straight from our own intelligence. Like our own intelligence services actually know they're not actually enriching uranium to build nuclear weapons. So, there is that. And also, just to add insult to injury, Iran actually did sign the non-proliferation treaty.
That's right. Under who?
Israel refused to sign the non-proliferation treaty, so they were never a member of it, weapons or not. So there's also that angle. And then of course, finally, just to really drive it home that there's layers to that, is that it's true that Iran signed the treaty and Israel didn't. But honestly, who are we to tell them that they have to sign the treaty at all? Who are we to tell them that they can't have nuclear weapons? If they're bordering a hostile ethno-state that does have nuclear weapons, don't you think that they would want to have nuclear weapons too? It's because if you think about it, it's kind of like the gun control thing. Like I remember I don't remember what happened to him, but we used to have this like really hardcore leftist gun grabber president that used to say, "Due process later, take the guns first." Because their idea, it's like red flag laws. It's that, well, you might do something bad if you have guns, so we're going to stop you from having guns, even though, of course, we have the Second Amendment of the Constitution that says, well, you can't just decide who does and doesn't get to have guns.
Yeah.
The nuclear non-proliferation treaty is just gun control on a international scale. It's telling a country that, well, we don't trust what you might do if you have those weapons. So you've been charged with pre-crime, and we've decided you can't have them. And you weren't even trying to get them, but we're not even happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and strike you anyway. We're going to strike you because of what you might do if you did do the thing you're not doing. There you go. That's the current Iranian-Israeli war. We're going to bomb you because of what you might do if you were doing what you're not doing.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take that.
Yeah. I'm
also, by the way,
just
as a quick aside, I haven't really been on social media a lot today because just fuck y'all. But I just randomly scrolling, like I just saw one of the trends. I was like, I'll just check really quick to see if there's like any breaking news other than they're trading missiles. And I clicked on, one of the random trends, and I just really quickly scrolling, I saw like a dozen people who were like, you're either siding with Israel or you're siding with the Arabs.
The Arabs?
The Arabs? The Arabs in Iran.
Yeah.
The fact that you think Iranians are Arab means you don't get to have an opinion in this topic. That's it.
Should have said Arabs.
Well, they're not Arabs either.
Oh, well.
But
maybe I was hoping the pronunciation would be different. Oh yeah, if you call them Arabs, there you go. So PragerU, who's been who's a bastion of freedom over there, they said 1:47 p.m. June 13th, 2025. If Iran laid down its arms, there would be no war. If Israel laid down its arms, there would be no Israel. See, this is the thing. This is the thing that's interesting, is that they're trying to make they're telling us Iran is this big bad nasty country, right? They have their hands in other countries meddling like in their security or foreign policy or whatever. Kind of like how some people are trying to say that Qatar has this huge influence on American foreign policy, right? And maybe Qatar does have some influence. I don't know. I'm sure they do. Whatever.
They don't. Just go ahead go ahead.
Yeah.
Everybody on planet Earth knows what country has the overwhelming amount of unearned influence in U.S. politics. Everyone knows what that country is. There's no point in it. This is like the IQ test to see if you get to take the IQ test. Do you think Qatar has more influence in U.S. politics than Israel? If you think the answer is Qatar, then you're not going to get a time to take the exam.
Qatar rhymes with
what?
Qatar rhymes with retard.
Yeah, Qatar also rhymes with Muammar, as in Muammar Gaddafi. So since you were talking about read the Prager quote again. I thought you were going to pull it up on the screen. You're like the producer of this damn show, but now
that is true.
Now I'm having to pay attention. So they're saying that if Iran laid down their arms, there'd be no war. If Israel laid down their arms, there'd be no Israel. Well, that's what they told Muammar Gaddafi. And so you know what he did? He laid down his arms. He got rid of his WMDs. And what happened right after that? He got assassinated with a bayonet up his anus. And now Libya has literal open air slave trade. That's what happens when you lay down your arms. So no, fucking retard PragerU. No. And maybe they're right. Maybe if Israel did roll over, then they would suffer as a result. But I tend to doubt it. Whereas we know we have literal real word proof of what happens if Israel's enemies choose to disarm. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, like I was gonna say, is that they have Iran as this big bad evil country or whatever, and so they're making a nuclear weapon program. I'm not saying that they have one. I'm just saying this is what a lot of the people in the American and Israeli government are saying. Hey, Iran. I mean, again, I've mentioned this before. You've mentioned it before. But we all know about that famous time where Netanyahu was like, "Hey, look, you see this bomb? They're right here. If they get up to here, it's over. The World War III, right? It's over."
Yeah. So, because people have been parroting that line all day, that Israel has been saying that Iran is like 3 to 5 months away from obtaining the bomb. They've been saying that for most of my adult life. I mean, I'm 39, and I want to say it was the late 90s was when Netanyahu first charted that out, and they've been saying that like on repeat every couple of years for that long. So again, this is not even in dispute. No one who is being honest is disputing at all whether or not Iran is seeking nukes. They're not. That is just objectively true and proven by intelligence agencies the world over. So again, why is Israel doing what it's doing? But also, more importantly, what's the deal with the timing? To me, the bigger story from this past week is not just that it's happening. It's that there was supposedly these peace talks going on between Iran and the U.S., and that, I mean, allegedly they were going to have another sit down on Sunday. Of course, that's not happening now. They're a little busy now to be having another sit down. And so I know that all the internet pundits are running wild right now with just let's just hypothetically, which of these is more likely true? That the U.S. that the Trump administration was always complicit in Israel's strikes on Iran, meaning that they were feigning diplomatic talks. They were always planning strikes. Or is it that the Trump administration was legitimately wanting to work things out diplomatically, but Israel basically went behind the US's back and did the strikes anyway? Either of them are really bad. And Trump has come out today and point blank said, no, actually, we were in on it. It was a big smoke screen to lower their defenses so that the strikes would be more effective. Okay. If that's true, why would any country ever sit down at the table with the United States ever again?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's almost like you say one thing, and then once they turn around, hey, guess what? Hey, you got the thing ready? Yeah, we're going to go and do the thing, even though we told them we weren't going to. You know? And there were reports, I don't know how legitimate they were, where you saw, does Donald Trump and Netanyahu have some kind of beef going on, or like, are they friendly? I don't know what's going on with them. So is this kind of, because you know, and like something I wanted to get into as well a little bit was, you know, Elon Musk and Donald Trump have made up, it seems like. Did Netanyahu and Donald Trump, hey, you want to let us go attack Iran? Sure, but you gotta let me say I wanted diplomacy, and they said no. All right, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we'll do that. So there you go. Now he's got two best friends again.
So the thing is that I know a lot of people all the way up to when the strikes went out, Israel strikes on Iran, which, by the way, to be clear, all the media today is reporting about how Iran is shooting missiles into Israel, as if they just did it, as if they just woke up today and decided, screw you guys, we're firing missiles.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
As if nothing happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah, if that were the case, Iran, I'm sure they know if they just did that, like, wouldn't that pretty much be game over for them? Isn't Russia an ally of Iran? So if we were going to war with Iran, Israel and Iran, and then America was going to be on Israel's side, Russia would be on Iran's side, but they're too busy right now with Ukraine. So, I mean, I guess you can split the armies up. I don't know, whatever, I don't know.
Well, Russia was never going to actually step in and do anything to help Iran. I mean, we don't live in that world. It's not a video game where people just respond in such a way. I mean, because if they did, then it would literally be World War III. Like, that's when people post things like, oh my God, we're going to see World War III. The way World War III happens is when relatively minor conflicts in a relatively centralized geographic location start to get other people involved. Mm-hmm. That's how world wars happen. So I mean, yeah, if Russia sent some stealth bombers down to the fucking Middle East and started peppering Tel Aviv, yes, World War III would happen. Yes, that would happen. So that's why Russia wouldn't do that, because Russia's not fucking insane the way the Western media tries to portray them. In fact, we all know what massive global superpower is most likely to get involved in Iran and Israel. We already know which one it is. It's the fucking United States. Everybody knows this. None of this is up for debate at all. But I did want to mention on that previous train of thought that so not only are they portraying this as Iran has somehow started a war, like they started this, by simply existing and having nuclear power plants. This means they have to be struck by the IDF, and if they do anything in return, then it's their fault. But it's so much worse than that, because since we know that there's a power disparity, since we know that Israel has nukes. By the way, the IDF they are not. I mean, we know they're not infallible. They're not invincible. Iran could beat Israel in a war. The issue isn't whether or not Iran's military could seriously damage Israel. The answer is that if Iran actually responded in that way, like, let's say Iran says, that's it, I've fucking had it with playing this, musical chairs with the West and with Israel. Yeah. We're going to send absolutely every bomb and every bullet we have to Israel right now. If they did that, you know what Israel do? They would nuke Tehran. That's what they would do. Everybody knows that. And that's why Iran is in a really tough place, because they can't just let it happen. They can't just sit there and take it. But if they actually responded with the intent of, we're going to wipe you fuckers off the face of the earth, then Israel would nuke them. And then things, obviously, you want to talk about escalation. It's hard to escalate much higher than dropping an atom bomb in somebody else's capital. It's something you definitely don't come back from. But even beyond all that, it still comes back around to getting back to the angle of the United States and the Trump administration. No one's ever going to there's no incentive to ever come and meet the United States halfway diplomatically. Ever. We've all, by the way, that's not a new thing, but like, this is just another piece of evidence that there's no point in having diplomacy with the United States, because they're just using it to hurt you. But more than that, it's that the only other possible outcome is that Israel just did whatever they wanted to do, be damned what Trump said. There's something that everyone needs to be completely clear on. I mean, 100%, whether it's the genocide in Gaza, whether it's the war with Iran, or any number of other Middle Eastern conflicts, the United States could always put an end to it at any time. At any time. It doesn't matter if Netanyahu wants to go behind your back and do whatever he wants. It doesn't matter if they want to play nice publicly and have diplomatic talks, but the whole time they're just, using that to subvert you. None of that matters. Any U.S. president could call the current prime minister of Israel, right? Obviously now being Netanyahu. Any one of them could call them at any time, day or night, 24/7. Be like, get that fucker on the phone. I want him on the phone in 5 minutes. And if they said that, by God, that fucker would pick up the phone. And then you'd say, that's it. You're never getting another fucking cent. You're never getting another bomb. You're never getting another missile. We're breaking all diplomatic ties. If you so much as even blink, we will help them end you. Hang up the phone. That's it. You know what happens the next day? They pull their fucking forces out of Gaza. They quit shooting missiles at Iran, and they say, okay, whoa, everybody, let's all be cool here. Let's let cooler heads prevail, folks. Maybe we got a little bit carried away. That's what would happen if the world knew that they didn't have the United States' backing. So it's still no matter who did what and when, it's always Donald Trump's fault. It is. And I know that sounds like, oh, it's TDS, Orange Man bad. No, it's Donald Trump's fault. Because Donald Trump, as the president of the United States, could put an end to all this right now. Right this second, he could get on the phone and say, hey, cut the shit, or it's over. I mean it. Reagan did it. Fucking Reagan did it. And I mean, Reagan is like, every conservative's, fucking wet dream. Everyone has such rosy colored glasses. For
time of immigration.
Even though he like triples the national debt, every conservative loves Ronald Reagan. But that is one thing he did. He got on the phone and said, our news is wall-to-wall coverage of all these dead babies in the street. Cut the shit or you lose everything. And you know what they did? They cut the shit. Trump could do that. And every single day that he doesn't tells you they're complicit in it. Don't play this game of this whole strained relationship and this whole, oh, Trump's the peace president. He doesn't want this to be his legacy. If he didn't want this to be his legacy, he could put it into it right now. At a bare minimum, there should not be any American boots on the ground. This is, let me tell you, this is what I fear the most. So long as Iran feels that this is an existential threat, that's a very important distinction. Look, these people have swapped cruise missiles before, and then everybody goes, grrr, and they rattle their sabers, and then it goes away, and that's the end of it. But if Iran actually thought this was an existential threat, they're here to oust the Ayatollah and to eliminate the Royal Guard. Like, this is it. They're coming to get us. If they thought that, you know what they would do right now, right this very second, and there's nothing anyone could do to stop it, is they would fire missiles pointed at every U.S. base and installation in the region within range. And there would be thousands and thousands and thousands of dead American soldiers right now. And you know what we could do to stop it? Nothing. Because they're there. You know what the best way to not get blown up by an Iranian missile is to not be in the fucking Middle East.
Yeah.
That's Israel's problem to figure out. That's not our problem to figure out. So what I'm terribly afraid would potentially happen, you want to talk about kicking off a major global event, is Iran says, stop this or else. And then Israel says, or else what? And then Iran just starts bombing indiscriminately. They start shooting everything they have at Tel Aviv. They start shooting everything they have at every U.S. installation in the region. I mean, sure. And then the U.S. obviously would get pulled into the war then, right? Because we wouldn't be able to let that go. And then there we fucking are. And who's ready for another 20 years in the Middle East? Let's go. Let's go. 20 more years of the terror war. Oh, you were a baby when the last terror war started? Well, we'll sign you right up.
Alan, why are you taking Iran's side?
I mean, I don't give a fuck about Iran, but you know what threat Iran poses to me? Not a one. Not a solitary one. You know what threat the United States government and Israel poses to me? Frankly, quite a bit too fucking much. They pose me a significant threat. Iran poses me no threat. That's it. There's your answer.
Well,
I don't check under my bed for Persians every night before I go to bed. Might have to start checking for the little hats though.
maybe. Well, I did see some people before with Donald Trump like, oh, maybe he's because he said he wanted diplomacy, right? He wanted to continue talks. But then he posted something where, hey, the people I was talking to, they're dead now. And so it's like, okay.
So he's completely complicit.
Yeah.
So that means this
what?
is his war. This is Trump's genocide in Gaza, and this is Trump's war. Based entirely on the fact that if he wanted to stop it, it would be over tonight. Imagine that. Like let's be serious for a second, because there's a lot of people out there that are like, well, besides the fact that they have the right to defend themselves, blah 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 blah, it's what they're doing over there. We don't, they're not the 51st state. We can't tell them. No. That's all bullshit. Trump could get on the phone right now and end it. So with that knowledge, you put yourself in those shoes. Seriously, put yourself in those shoes. If you were the president of the United States and you knew you could get on the phone right now and scream your head off at a couple of world leaders and a genocide would stop and a war would stop, wouldn't you do it? And if you didn't do it, what does that mean? What does that mean for you? What does that make you?
My hands were tied. The phone was not working.
Yeah, but they're not though.
Day,
No.
I couldn't do it.
No. Because that's nonsense. So this is a serious hypothetical. If you were the president of the United States and you could stop a literal genocide right now with a phone call and you didn't do it, what does that make you?
Complicit in that.
There you go.
Yeah. Come on,
I
Donald.
just couldn't fathom. I couldn't fathom being that person. Of course, then again, I didn't get donated $400 million by the Adelsons, but that being neither here nor there, I just couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine having that power in my grasp and choosing to watch people die. I mean, but people with like a conscience don't get to be world leaders. You have to be a psychopath.
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of psychopaths, look at this guy. Congressman Randy Fine bombs away. Look at that guy. Florida 6th District bombs away. Let's go. Look at that guy. He just doesn't give a shit. He wants Israel to go blazing.
Talk about somebody who just needs to be assassinated. Like,
hey, look what Toad said. We should drop you on Israel. Because he's a big guy. You know what I'm saying? Randy Fine. He's a big boy.
Yeah, isn't that weird too? Like you keep on seeing, like that's a recurring theme is that you'll see these random blowhards, and then you'll see like a candid photo of them like at a town hall, and they look like eggs. Like that happens all the time. There has to be. I like that picture right there. Yeah.
Support for Israel is down to 30% for fighting age men. Good luck. You're over. Just looking at some.
I
of
know
the
people have also pointed out that the media is trying to pat, and the IDF is patting itself on the back for these surgical strikes that it carried out in Iran to target military leaders while keeping civilian casualties at a minimum. And then you look at a picture of Gaza where they've just leveled everything, and you're like, oh, so you guys can do surgical strikes that only target military targets. That's so weird. Then what happened here?
Right. Oh man. Bombs away, he says. Bombs away. I do like this one too. This was pretty funny. So this tweet here, it says, so there's a picture. Smoke rises over central Tel Aviv. And then this guy tweets, white smoke indicating a new Jeffrey Epstein has been chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Classic. Look at that. Banger.
Mm-hmm.
Banger tweet. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it? I gotta know. They haven't said it. They haven't told us who it is yet. Come on. Can't leave us hanging like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out in another 20 years when a bunch of people get caught up in the sting. I did see where, like you could just see this wall of tweets that are just the typical right-wing bots, because the right-wing NPCs are just like the left-wing NPCs. And it's just this wall of tweets of all these politicians, governors, mayors of major cities, congressmen, senators, all saying, pray for Israel, we stand with Israel, blah, 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 blah. And somebody saved a wall of all those tweets and posted the new Epstein list just dropped.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Everybody knows it. See, that's the thing too, is that we live in such a weird time, and this is very much a era of Epstein thing, because this is I'm not inventing the wheel here. This has been around for years. That we live in a time that us regular rabble on the street all know that they're all in on it. Right. We all know that they're all pedophiles and rapists. And so when you reach that point, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, this is why we talk about like binge watching TV shows and football. When football season gets here, we'll be talking about football. Why? Because why bother talking about this stuff? They're all a bunch of rapists and murderers. What else do you really need to discuss? So like, oh, I wonder what the rapists and murderers did today. Probably raped and murdered a bunch of people. Imagine that. This is why we talk about football. It's not bread and circuses. It's because they're all rapists and murderers. That's it.
Your guy, Dave Rubin, said, now imagine these were nukes. Israel will fight and win. Dave Rubin. He's been one who's he's been tweeting about this nonstop. Mark Levin, that guy, he's been every tweet. Oh, look at he's been calling Tucker Carlson like Qatarlson or something like that. Basically saying, implying that Tucker Carlson's bought and paid for by Qatar. So, who knows? I don't know.
By the way, the only people pushing the just outrageously retarded Qatar talking point are all the little hats. You notice that?
Yeah. Because
we all know it's them. So they then come up with just like, no one believes their lies. That's what it's that whole thing of they're lying. We know they're lying. They know we know they're lying.
Yeah. But
they just keep doing it. It's almost like certain peoples have certain tendencies.
No.
I'll let the viewers decide for themselves.
Well, other than World War III possibly starting, which is, I mean, I don't know. I see a lot of people being like, "Oh my God, World War III! It's happening! It's okay." Like, come on, like you were saying, if Russia was bringing in weapons out, then be like, okay, maybe we have something going on here. But I think it's just Israel and Iran having a hissy fit right now. They're bitching at each other. But other things that happened. So before all this happened, before Israel and Iran started slapping at each other, started having a cat fight, I wanted to share this with you because I know you really want to know. So this is from our Lord and Savior Elon Musk. He said, "I regret some of my posts about President Donald Trump last week. They went too far." Now, again, this is 2 days. This is June 11th. So I wonder if he feels the same way now. Although maybe because he was with wasn't he with Ben Shapiro doing some like Israel tour or something like that with him? And Ben Shapiro's basically trying to get him like, hey, Israel, remember, you got to be supportive of Israel. So and like I was saying, Elon Musk and Donald Trump are now best buds again. And Netanyahu and Donald Trump are having a gay old time. So seems all's right in the world.
You don't really come back from that guy's a pedophile.
Right. Yeah. That's what people were telling us.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You can't just say he's on the Epstein files and basically imply that he's a pedo and then go, you know what? I shouldn't have called you that. I'm sorry. My fault. That's my bad.
Yeah. You just like when you're mad at somebody and you can call, like, you could have said, this spending bill is stupid. And obviously Donald Trump was lying when he said this and that. And that would have been like, oh, dang, they're fighting,
Yeah.
But no, he said, you're on the Epstein list. The truth's going to come out.
Yeah.
It's
like, what does that mean? The truth's going to come out. What do you say? You got a video of him doing some things that is not good. Like, I don't know. So I guess maybe they're on a working relationship, but other than that, Elon Musk is probably just, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. So Donald Trump's bringing him back. They're good friends again. So.
Well, because at the end of the day, Elon, so Trump has no credibility for all the things we've discussed thus far in the show.
Yeah.
On top of things we haven't touched on, such as he's now taking a 180 on immigration, and he already took a 180 on spending. So he's just President Kamala Harris right now. Donald Trump is completely indistinguishable from Harris. But if Elon goes crawling back, then Elon also loses all of his credibility because he was right to call them out. The bill is a disaster, and he should have stood the line and said, we got to kill this bill, and whatever barbs they throw my way, I'm just going to throw, because Elon's a math guy, right? He loves tweeting that simple math. He should have just been throwing the facts and figures right back at him. But when he went nuclear with the you're a pedophile, that's it. That's the friendship is over. I don't work here anymore. Good day, sir. So for him to be going back on it now means either A, you're not only are you a bitch, but you also are implicitly now supporting going 180 on the spending and on the integration and on everything else.
Yeah.
Or you're consenting to it. You're saying, okay, well, whatever, I guess I've wasted my time and I'm going to be for these things now. Like, no, Elon had an opportunity to just double down and say, no, he's failing on all of his campaign promises. And I wasted my time and effort here. I mean, Trump said some nasty things about Elon too. Mm-hmm. So why would he feel the need to apologize? That's the interesting question. Like, you're the guy that's worth like $400 billion. Trump's gone. In a few years, there is no Trump. He's out. So who cares? So I don't know. That whole situation, it just reeks of none of these people can be trusted to do anything. It's, if you can't stand on your own 2 feet and draw a line in the sand and say, I'm not going to bend over for this no matter what. When you're worth $400 billion, then you're never going to be able to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
if I was as independently wealthy and successful as Elon Musk, and you caught me having to, basically being a hypocrite, then man, obviously that fucker's on the fucking Epstein list, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, that's why the Epstein list is the Epstein list, because it takes people that you normally wouldn't be able to have power or influence over, and now you have ultimate power and influence over them. So fuck, maybe Elon's on the damn list.
Yeah, and another person that Donald Trump was having hissy fits with was our boy Thomas Massey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Thomas Massey tweeted just on June 12th, yesterday, as of this recording, just voted for the 2025 Rescissions Act. These are the first Doge cuts. $9 billion won't solve all our budget problems, but it's an incredible start. Let's cut more. Thank you, Doge. So there you go.
I mean, he's right that 9 billion just means nothing. So a comment that I made recently to our friend Michael Bolden, the director of the 10th Amendment Center, is like, they know that the average public's retarded, right? Especially the voters, the electorate. So when Trump gets a bill passed to cut a whopping $9 billion, he actually gets to hang the mission accomplished banner in the back saying, look, guys, I cut spending. Now we know that's bullshit, but he'll use that. He'll say, look, here's an example of spending I cut. It's the same thing as the immigration stuff. Like, okay, so he's deported like 5,000 people out of the alleged 21 million that came in over the last 4 years. So what does he do? He deports like 0.001% of those people. And what does that do for him? He hasn't actually solved any problems. He hasn't actually committed to doing anything good. But he can point to that and say, look, guys, look, I'm deporting illegals. You see that? I'm keeping my promises. Everybody vote for me. But in a weird way, it actually accomplishes two goals. He's not accomplishing anything, but him accomplishing nothing accomplishes two goals. One is he can point to those things and say, look, I'm making progress. And at the same time, he leaves those issues totally unresolved for future Republicans to campaign on, because that's all that Republicans do. They campaign on issues. They don't actually solve any issues. They just campaign on them. And so Trump's trying to have his cake and eat it too. He's pointing to victories while not actually accomplishing anything.
Another thing that happened too about that is, so when all that was going down, I was fully expecting people, because like the first round of those votes happened, and I think it was like 6 Republicans had said no. And so of course you're thinking, oh, all the anti-Thomas Massey people on the right wing are like, oh, was Massey one of those? Because he said he didn't vote for, and then of course he comes back and goes, well, they didn't even vote on it. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know where you get your information from, but you're wrong. But guess what? He wasn't one of those who didn't say no. And what happened? Where were the people who hate him? They didn't say anything about that. At least I didn't see it personally. I didn't see a cat turd tweet talking about Thomas Massey. I bet he was one of them ones who didn't vote for, or Mike Cernovich recently, just going all out on Rand Paul and Thomas Massey. You're just a grifting podcaster. You haven't even accomplished anything. How long have you been in politics? You've accomplished zero. And but he voted for it. So there you go, 9 billion. Again, it's not much, but at least it's something, right? So,
well, it also, see, that's one of the downsides to the modern era of social media, is that on the one hand, you have potential access to all this information that you otherwise wouldn't have access to, or from different sources. On the other hand, there's nothing to stop a bunch of grifters from all tweeting out, Thomas Massey didn't vote for this. And it just to proliferate for like, you know how it goes, like, 6-8 hours goes by and there's millions of tweets. And for then Massey to come in and to say, okay, so first of all, the vote hasn't even happened yet. Right. And second of all, I'm voting no. Like, but that's how stupid people are.
Yeah.
People are stupid. I mean, it's kind of that, it's like a chicken before the egg thing, right? Like, the evil politicians are evil, but they are given their power and authority from unbelievably stupid electorate. So,
well, I guess they have their thing now, because those people that I was talking about, where they're just going all out about Thomas Massey and Rand Paul. Oh, you're boo-hooing. And then something that he does that they would probably like. Nothing. No. Oh, respect. I didn't like how you've been talking about Donald Trump, but hey, respect for voting for it. Good job. None of that. Just pretend like it didn't happen. But once he does something they don't like again, here comes the DC Dranos and the cat turds, and the Mike Cernovich now apparently is part of that. Hey, you voted against something I like.
He is, but remember, I want you should have already done this. You should have saved that picture of all the people with the binders. You need to have that picture saved at all times on your thing, so that just every single time any of those people comes up, before just stop yourself before you reference any of their by name, before you pull up any of their tweets. Just quickly ask yourself, is this person in the picture with the fake binders? If the answer is yes, go ahead and delete it.
Yeah,
you've been had again.
Okay, so who was in it? Now that it was DC Drano, right? Mike Cernovich was there in the back. Libs of TikTok, right? She was there. I can't remember the other people that were in there. Those are the three big ones that I remember. Those three. I think Jack Posobiec was there somewhere, but I don't know, he wasn't in that main picture that was spread around on social media, but he was there.
He was there.
Who was another one? It was like a lady. Whatever. But yeah. And we make fun of it too, where it's okay, so there was part one, which was nothing really. Where's part two? Is that gonna be another nothing, or is that just never gonna come out? Because now with all this Israel and Iran stuff, it's like, hey, go focus on all that. Don't worry about what's going on in LA and all those protests happening. Shh. Go focus on Israel and the Iran. Don't just focus on that. So
I haven't been keeping track. Have you said Israel and Iran differently every single time?
Yes, I've been saying Israel and Iran or Iran or however you want to fucking pronounce those dumb.
No,
countries.
Differently every time.
Yeah,
you've
every
said it
single
like
time. Yeah. Israel.
That's pretty impressive.
Israel. I don't know.
Israel.
Yeah. So it's it's good times that are happening so far. Okay, so another thing that I want to share with you, and this is for you. This is for you, Alan. No one else. So no one else is going to see this. But so there was this senator, right? Senator Alex Padilla. He got arrested and handcuffed because he barged in, right? When Kristi Noem was talking, he barged in. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think the story was he was kind of waiting and then he just interrupted and started shouting. And then it was like, hey, stop talking. And then he got pushed out and And of course, Democrats were saying, hey, this is this is bad for our political assembly or whatever. And Republicans are like, hey, you snooze, you lose. You shut the fuck up. Hey. So your boy Stephen A. Smith had something to say about it. What do you think he said? Before I even show you the clip, what do you think he said?
I don't know. What did Stephen A. I don't care. I don't care what Stephen A. Smith said. Okay.
Watch.
Here you have this senator, Alex Padilla. Can Kristi Noem speak? Could you have waited till she finished to ask your questions?
I
To
guess.
shout your questions? You are a senator, right? You couldn't wait? So that was just you out of control because you were just losing it up. You, a United States senator, couldn't compose yourself and let the head of Homeland Security finish her thoughts before you asked the question. Couldn't do that, huh? Couldn't do it, huh?
Is that guy gonna run for president?
No, he's not. Go ahead. And...
Hey, how do you think Stephen A. Smith would handle the Israel-Iran conflict? What do you think he would do?
I'm sorry. I was distracted because you said Senator Alex Padilla, and all I could think was sounds like somebody needs to be deported.
Padilla
Padilla doesn't sound very Anglo-Saxon to me, but
well, you know, he came in his country, and you know, as
he
a
can go right back out.
yeah, he could get right back out. Yeah. But yeah, how do you think Stephen A. Smith would handle Israel and Iran?
He would handle it exactly the way he's told, which is pretty much the same way as every other president. Isn't that weird?
How about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Remember that whole
Same.
thing? He should be the president. You don't do that. I want to see him be commando, just fucking guns ablazing. Fuck all you. That's what I want Arnold Schwarzenegger to be when he becomes the U.S. president. That's what I want. I don't want this fucking fat fuck Donald Trump. I want to see that muscular guy in there. Arnold, the Austrian oak, Schwarzenegger, to get in there. He's going to tell Putin who's boss. He's going to shake Zelensky's hand and say, we are your best friend. He's going to tell Netanyahu or whoever the Israeli president is at the time he's president. He's going to say, I am on your side. Iran can go kiss my ass. And there you go. We're right back to the status quo of well, he was a big fan of George H.W. Bush. I don't know if you knew that, but he's a big fan of the Bushes. He actually, if I remember correctly, he said he wanted to become a Republican because of Richard Nixon. So there you go. Richard Nixon, not bad. Not a bad pick. But then, of course, you know, he gets bogged down by the Bushes, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger would be a good president, I think. You know, get in there and have that funny accent. It'll be hilarious. It'd be pretty funny. You know?
I mean, didn't he totally get derailed by the whole fucking the maid thing? Like, you think about it. If he can't even stop himself from banging the help, then you know his ass is going to be all over the Epstein list. Are you kidding me?
Now, come on, let's go to the Epstein Island. Come on, let's go. I got to go over there and look at, you know, all the beautiful women over there, you know.
Boy, this is your Peter Schiff moment.
It is, yeah.
That we're having right now. Look, I'm not saying that it was legal.
Jeez.
All
right, well, let's get into some fun stuff. I know we were talking before.
Now we're getting into the fun
all that other
Thank
stuff
God.
was not fun. It was very sad. All the death and destruction happening. But you know, nobody wants to see. Although people, it's hard to get back into it, but people have been tweeting about Israel. Like they seem to kind of like the fact that Israel is just shooting missiles at other countries. Like, yeah, this is great. I love it. Like Ben Shapiro must be furiously jerking off right now at this whole thing. I mean, my God. That's a disgusting picture I was painting for everybody. But anyway, back to fun stuff. We talked about before where our favorite show of all time, Squid Game's coming out. So we can watch the final trailer. We can watch it and
hell yeah. My favorite Korean drama of the 2020s.
Yeah, until 2030 something else comes out. Oh, I like this show. It's pretty good. I haven't seen these yet. So all right, here we go. Looks pretty good to me. I mean, it was basically like a flashback of the first two seasons, right?
Yeah. It wasn't really much of a trailer for a new season, so much as to say that, you know, I'm excited to see the final season, and I have liked the show overall.
Yeah.
But I do have to admit that while I enjoy watching it, it's not like it's going to make my all-time list or anything. It's not going to make like my all-time top 25 or anything. And it's mostly based. I think the acting has been good. I've really liked the actors.
Yeah.
And all that. I like the creativity of the series, but the plot's kind of retarded. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest with ourselves. This guy went back into the Squid Game to shut them down, but that means he's a hostage of like a massive evil organization with like hundreds of armed soldiers. And that's his idea of, I'm going to go in there and shut it. He even said it in the fucking trailer. I'm going to put an end to this. They could just shoot him at any time. There's nothing to stop him from doing that.
He's crazy.
So that's his idea. Like, I get it that before this, he was working with other people. And like, that's the thing that I feel like was basically almost completely missing from season 2 that they have to get into in season 3. Like, remember that whole ex-cop? And like his brother is the guy, and he's outside with the mercs, and they're trying to storm the base. Remember those guys?
Yeah.
Like, those people would have a much better chance of putting a stop to it than I've already forgotten the dude's name, the main character's name. It's probably Sung something. You know, come on, help me out here. Help me out here, damn it.
I feel is it Gi-hun?
Gi-hun, yeah.
There you go. God, I felt dumb.
You got his name. You did it.
I was like, what the?
Yeah.
I was trying to be cool and think of myself. Yeah, Sung Gi-hun. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, because Jun-ho is out, he's the cop that's outside. And like, to me, that part of the story has to go somewhere because Gi-hun can't do anything. He's essentially a prisoner. What's he gonna do?
Yeah,
it's so stupid. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I like the show, but I'm saying that's stupid. So you just have to accept that he's kind of retarded, and he's just basically just flailing out in anger. He doesn't really have a serious plan to succeed. He's just mad. And that's fine. The show's good. I'm just not saying it's not like logically the most airtight plot.
Yeah. Did I tell you my my prediction on how the show's going to end?
Yeah, he's going to be the new leader of the Squid Game. You told me that.
Yeah, he's going to be the new one. Yeah.
But he's going to put a stop to it.
He's going to put a stop to it by becoming the new man.
So he's going to continue it then.
Yeah, he's going to continue it. Yeah. It's almost as if it's like he's the American president who says, I'm going to end the foreign wars, and then actually, I'm going to continue them. So.
Yeah, but why though? Like, but what would be the motivating factor for him to do the games? I don't know
how that's going to happen, but I predict that he's going to become the new man. So I don't know how somehow it's going to happen, but I think that's like the big shocking for like the shock factor. I think they could go for that. Like, oh my God, this guy he wants to end the games, but then becomes the new number one. What the fuck? That's crazy. But I could see
why
it happen.
You have to at least have me one hypothetical reason. Like, are they going to kill his daughter if he doesn't do the game? Like, you have to give me a reason why he would do it.
It could be like a quid pro quo thing. Like, I'll do this, but you have to promise me something or whatever to make sure that my family's safe or something like that. Yeah. Sorry, I hadn't thought of that. I haven't thought this through. Okay. That's why I'm not a writer for a television show.
You start with the end and you work your way back. Right. That's what you. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm like Lost, where I start with the very beginning of the show and I go, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to end this. So yeah, but that's
I
my
don't know,
prediction.
but ending it does sound pretty good though. That's how we should start doing these
But see,
episodes.
another thing too would be if they wanted to continue Squid Game in some capacity, whether the main creator guy wanted to keep doing it, because it seems like he wants to move on and do something else, which totally understand. You know, I'm sure when he made it, he's like, one season, that's it. But we got so popular, and they kept asking him, and just threw him, hey, you gotta do a second season. All right, I'll do a second season. It's gonna be retarded, but I'll do it. You know. But if they wanted to continue with the Squid Game, obviously you have to have the games just continue. You can't just have them stop, you know, unless they did a Squid Game International. Oh, there's a Squid Game in America now. There's a Squid Game in France. There's an Australian version of Squid Game. Now it's everywhere, not just in Korea anymore, because Korea stopped theirs, but now it's in Japan. So they have all these different Squid Games, you know, so they could do something like that.
But if they do one in Japan, then the Korean audiences will cheer.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah. So, like, yeah, that's right. They're the good guys now. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Look how many they got in this game, you guys.
It's like, yeah. It's like the most popular show in Korea, the Japanese Squid Game. It's like, I wonder why. They still have that deep-seated hatred in them historically.
You know, I'm sorry. The show should be over, by the way. It's 10:15. But I got to say this. This is going to sound very weebish, but just listen.
Yeah.
I watched this show called Solo Leveling, right? It's got a couple of seasons out. It's about this dude who just gets stronger killing things it's like the real modern world, but these portals open up that have monsters in them, and you have to go in and kill the monsters or they come out. That's okay. There you go. It's actually a Korean show. It's a Korean show. It's not Japanese.
Oh.
In the end of the last season that I watched, the Korean, because it's based in Korea, but this happens all over the world. There's monsters everywhere, and Korea has like their national team of heroes, and every different country has their heroes. Korea was about to go to Jeju Island, which is over there in the Koreas, and to fight these monsters, right? And these were like really tough monsters, so they reached out to the international community for help. And the Japanese sent their team of heroes to help the Korean heroes. But you'll never fucking guess what happened next in the show. It turns out that the Japanese team actually had ulterior motives to let the Koreans die and then take over.
Oh, no.
But then the Japanese end up dying because they're the bad guys. And I was like, oh my God, of course this is a Korean show.
Yeah.
Because the Japanese wouldn't write the plot like that. I was like, oh my God.
We're actually good people. We're
True.
going to help the Koreans. The Koreans are like, fuck that. You're going to be bad guys.
Oh, yeah, no. So that's the actual plot in the show. Is the Japanese didn't actually, they said they were going to help, but when they showed up, it was actually a plot to let the Koreans go in and get killed and then save the day and then just take over Korea. It's like, holy shit. And so I was like, yep. I was instantly like, hold on, I got to look this up. I Google it. Like, yep, this show's made by Koreans. Of course it is. Of course it is. The Japanese are like even bigger bad guys than the monsters.
Yeah.
Like, perfect.
But who are the real
It's
bad
so
guys?
good.
The monsters look at them and go, "Oh, maybe we should have the Koreans and kill the Japanese. We'll help you, Koreans." And then you can
next season
later.
Next season it'll be the Chinese. Their next season. Like this season, it was the Japanese were actually going to stab us in the back, but they got what was coming to them. Next season it'll be, and then the Chinese show. Like it's so funny. Like I barely am even paying attention to the monsters anymore. I'm just paying attention to. I wonder who the bad nation is going to be next. This season, it was the Japanese. Maybe the Japanese will just be the bad guys again next season. I don't know, but I thought you would enjoy that.
What was it called?
Solo Leveling.
Solo Leveling. Okay.
It just won a bunch of awards for like anime of the year or something. I don't know.
Well, I was looking up shows that are similar to Squid Game, and I have heard of these. All of Us Are Dead, which is a Korean drama. Alice in Borderlands was the Japanese show, which I've seen people say they like Alice in Borderlands better than Squid Game. Which I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know. But maybe at some point we can watch that and compare and contrast. But I think Alice in Borderlands it's like a zombie type of show. So it's another one of those like a Walking Dead type of thing. And then a show that Nico and I actually watched, the 8 show, which I think we talked about that with you off camera. We talked about that show, 8 show. It's about a group of Koreans who go into his house and they have to live there. And the ending, I don't even think we finished the ending because it was so ridiculous of that show. It was just like, the fuck is going on? Because at first, I remember the first 3 or 4 episodes, I was like I was grasping at straws. I'm like, man, I don't know. This show seems really like, I don't know what the hell's going on. What is happening? Anything interesting going to happen? And then I think about episode 4 or 5 was when it started getting, oh, okay, I get it now. It was like a slow burn. You know, I wasn't like instant gratification. It was like, oh, I guess we have to take our time on this one. All right. And then the last 2 episodes are just like, what the fuck is happening? And yeah. So if you want a short type of show that's similar to Squid Game, it's one and done. I mean, as far as I know, there's no other season. Then the 8 show. And I think it's because there's 8 people. And that's why it's called the 8 show.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
So yeah. Like I think one thing that happens in like the 7th or like the second to last episode or something like that is one of the characters he's like in a room and he's watching something, but he's being like, it's like he's being forced to watch it. So his eyes are open like this.
Mhm.
And it's just, it's like, it's torture. And you're like, God damn, what the fuck? Because like I was saying, the first 3 or 4 episodes, it's like barely anything really is happening. And then everything just comes like, so I know I'm doing a really good job describing the show to you, but yeah.
No, I got it. Yeah. Well, anyway,
yeah.
Yeah. So Shane, where can people go to support you and check out more of your content?
Well, you can watch more of the 38th Parallel here on the Hoppitarian Show YouTube channel and anywhere else we post these videos. BitChute, which I hear is a good place. Also on podcasts, so you can go on Spotify, Apple, any other place that you listen to podcasts. It's probably there. So go check it out and listen to me and Alan talk smart and also say some dumb things too in between that. So
listen, everybody, we've only got like what is it? 2.5 months until football season. Just stay strong.
Yeah. Once that happens,
stay strong, brothers.
Over. Oh, Israel,
stay strong,
Iran,
brother.
Yeah, Israel and Iran are still fighting. Who cares? How did the 49ers do last week?
Oh no, dude! As soon as football season starts, I don't give a fuck about those people.
Yeah. But you have to take a side. You can't just say, I don't know. I mean, I think this might come across as harsh to some viewers, but I hope everyone involved in the story should die. How about that? How about that?
How about that?
How about them Cowboys?
I've heard it said that Dak was saying that it's Super Bowl or bust.
Again? Like every other team doesn't feel the same way. Even the shittiest team, the Jaguars, are probably thinking Super Bowl or bust. Yeah, I think we got it this year.
Are they though?
I mean, they say it, but I'm sure they don't actually feel it. Like,
I don't even think they say it. I think that the bottom quartile of teams are always in the bottom quartile because they don't think that at all. Yeah. They actually aren't. Like you hear all those buzz terms like, oh, you have to have a championship mentality and all that. But the reality of it is that the people who win championships actually do have a championship mentality. But I'm talking about the reverse. The people who, I don't mean the people who some years they're good, some years they're not. I mean the people who are in the bottom quartile every year. Yeah. Those people do not, in fact, say it's Super Bowl or bust. I don't think they say that.
I saw something related to the 49ers that it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently Joe Montana and Steve Young never took a snap from shotgun. And apparently,
Yeah,
I don't
why
know.
would they?
I don't know how true this is, but apparently the 49ers were the first team to use the shotgun, but they never took a snap from shotgun. Another thing I learned about the 49ers is that their main team reporter is leaving the team. Every single time recently, in the last 10 years, every single time their main team reporter left the team, they went to the Super Bowl. So when they went to Super Bowl 54, their main team reporter left before the season started. And then when it went a couple years ago, when they lost in overtime, in a heartbreaker that really broke my heart, their team reporter left before the season. Just here a couple days ago, their team reporter announced, "This is it for me." They're moving on to different things. So does that mean this is the year for them? They're going to the Super Bowl? They'll probably lose, but they'll go to the Super Bowl again, right? Is that how it usually goes? Third time's the charm?
This season?
Yeah.
Oh no. No.
God. Why you do that?
Not
to me?
like this season?
Yeah.
No.
Next season,
No.
maybe, but this season, no.
Well,
Hey, Dak
2 seasons ago, definitely.
Oh, so come on.
Nah, man. You know what? I'm gonna be back on the Lions bandwagon. I think the Lions this year do what the Eagles managed to do last year, which is they get through the season relatively unscathed. Like the Lions were the team to beat last year, but they had an absolute fuck ton of injuries.
Yeah. That
same Lions team a year later without the injuries would be the Super Bowl favorite.
Well, I think didn't their offensive coordinator the last 2 or 3 or so seasons, didn't they just leave the team? So I don't know how that's going to affect them, but and Jared Goff, do you really trust him 100% to kind of get you over the hump? Although I guess you could say that about Brock Purdy too. I don't know. Like he went to the Super Bowl, but then he finished the job, so what are you going to do?
It won't be the Chiefs. That's all that I care about.
Oh my
God.
The
fact that the Chiefs were even in the Super Bowl last year upsets me.
Could you imagine?
Because I couldn't.
Could you imagine if it was the 49ers and Chiefs again? I'm sure people would love that.
Chiefs fans would love that.
Yeah, Chiefs fans
would.
I would love it. I would love it
you?
Because I would really, really, really hope that this is it. This will be the one that can actually win finally. Like fucking finally, can you fucking win one game against the Chiefs? Kyle Shanahan has never beaten the Chiefs with the 49ers ever. He's like 0-1,000 against the Chiefs. So
if I were you, I would want if the 49ers were going to go back to the Super Bowl, I would want it to not be the Chiefs, just so that you wouldn't have that whole boogeyman. Because that's all they would talk about for the whole 2-week lead up to the Super Bowl. It would just be nonstop. Can the 49ers beat the Chiefs? Exercising demons, monkey off their back. Can the 49ers beat the Chiefs? It would just be nonstop. You don't want that. You don't want that. And then it would be, and then it would also be, let's look at other famous teams that came up empty time and time again, and it would be, Bills, Buffalo Bills. You don't do that.
Minnesota Vikings, when they went like 4 times or so in the 70s or something like that.
Let it just be, Let it just be the Browns. Let it be Shadur Sanders.
God. Yeah, fuck that. Could you imagine Shadur Sanders wins? Fuck that. Fuck. I don't know. Yeah, like, I get it. I don't want the Chiefs, whatever. But there's a part of me too that's just, can I just get one? Like, just give us one. Be like the Steve Young. He finally got that monkey off his back. He finally got that. That'd be great. But here I am rooting for a freaking multi-billion-dollar franchise that I have nothing to do with. You know, meanwhile, I live in the country. I should probably care more about what's going on in the government and politics, right? But no, I root for the 49ers more like it's life or death as opposed to Israel and Iran, whatever. So, Alan, where can people find you to possibly watch a new episode of It's Too Late with Alan Mosley?
It's right there on your screens, folks. God, my hand is so big.
You're so close
At
to the camera
Alan
now.
Mosley TV on Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, YouTube. At Alan Mosley TV. I think we're doing an episode next week. I think
Hell
it'll be
yeah.
the long-awaited. Well, at this point, I just have to. I have to see if I remember how to do it, because then when we do the Squid Game episode, it won't be like a fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
Me sitting here trying to figure out how to pull stuff up.
It's like
'Cause
riding
I have to have like clips of my favorite scenes and screenshots of the characters, and
including
you
that one girl you really like, right?
yeah, we got to see what
Yeah.
happens to Prego. Are they actually going to kill off Prego?
If they
On the
want that
one hand,
emotional
you'd think-
impact.
On the one hand, you would think that they'll kill off Prego, because first of all, how's Prego going to beat the Squid Games? Like realistically,
Right.
the girl from the first season died, but this is a pregnant woman. Are they going to butcher a pregnant woman on the TV show? Got to tune in to find out. I know, thankfully, because you know how I am. If they're pregnant, they're just used up and useless. Thankfully, in real life, she's not actually pregnant. She's just fine.
She's a really good actress. She can play pregnant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been doing some study. So
Yeah, I was mostly sad during season 2 when my favorite character Thanos died. I was so sad when that happened.
thank God he's gone, dude. Like that was my favorite part of the whole season was
how
get
dare
this
you.
guy out
How
of the
dare
show.
you. Okay, we're ending the show now. How dare you?